Alright, this video is about circles. And what we're going to be doing is to write the equations of circles and graph circles, and then to solve problems with the equations. So, first of all, we need to know the equation for a circle. Now, the equation for a circle is based on the distance formula. And it's based on the fact that all the points in a circle are equal distance from the center. So here's a circle. All the points around the outside here are equal distance from HK to center. We can use our distance formula to find the length of the radius here, the distance from the center, HK, to any point on the circle XY. So we're going to take our distance formula here, and we're going to plug in HK. We're going to let HK be my X1, Y1, and my point on the circle XY be X2, Y2. So go ahead and substitute those values into the circle, and it will give us the distance of point R here, or the radius R, the distance between the 2 points. So now if we take this here and we square both sides, getting rid of the square root, we have our formula for the our equation for a circle, which is R squared equals X minus H squared plus Y minus K squared. So this formula that we just created is really important. Go ahead and write that down. There's a couple things I'd like you to notice about the formula. Notice that the HK inside the formula here are negative. All right, we have a minus H and a minus K. And when we write the point, however, those are the opposite values. So here we have a positive H and a positive K, even though there's negatives inside the formula. All right, and then also notice that the R is squared inside the formula, and that in order to get R by itself outside the formula, we'd have to take the square root of that to find R. Okay, and then as far as notation, this circle with a point inside of it is a symbol for circle. So this means circle K, circle with center K. All right, so let's see if we can write an equation for a circle. Let's write an equation for circle J that has a center of 2, 2 and a radius of 4. So what we're going to do is take our equation of a circle, which is this, okay, and we're going to plug into this. Our center is HK right here, so we're going to plug in 2, 2 for our center. We're going to plug in 2 for H and substitute 2 for K, and we're going to put 4 in for R into the equation. Go ahead and substitute those values into the equation, and then when we simplify the equation, we have our solution here. So this is the equation for the circle. All right, now let's see if we can write an equation for a circle where this time they do not give us the radius. They only give us the point that it passes through. It passes through the point J here, 6, 4, and it has a center of K, 1, negative 8. So we need to, the first thing we need to do when we make this, to write the equation, is to find the radius. So we're going to use our distance formula to find the distance between these 2 points. That would be our radius. So we know our distance formula. We're going to go ahead and plug in. Here we've got, this is our X1, Y1, and here's X2, Y2. So go ahead and plug in. So we have 6 minus 1, 4 minus negative 8. Okay, and we simplify that, and we get square root of 169, which is 13. So our radius is 13. Now that we know our radius, we can do this just like we did the previous example by taking our equation for the formula of a circle and plugging in. Okay, we're going to substitute into the equation for a circle. We're going to put in, let's see, what's our center? Our center is HK, so we're going to put 1 for H and negative 8 for K. And we're going to substitute R. We just found R to be 13. So we're going to substitute those into the equation for a circle. And when we simplify that, that gives us our answer. So we have X minus 1 squared plus Y plus 8 squared equals 169. The next thing I'd like you to be able to do is graph circles. If you are given the equation of a circle, you can graph the circle by first looking at the equation and identifying the center and the radius. And then after you know the center and the radius, in order to graph it, you're going to mark the center. Then you're going to count the radius. You're going to mark the radius in each direction out from the center. So let's say we want to graph this circle. The first thing you're going to do is look at it and decide what the radius and the center of the circle are. So it looks like if we wanted to rewrite this, because the equation itself had a negative inside of it. This one already has a minus, but this one doesn't. It has a plus. Well, we can rewrite that plus as minus a negative, because negative and negative would together go backwards and make that plus, right? And it's supposed to, we have a 9 over here. In order to find out what r is, we're going to have to do, this is r squared. We need this to be something squared. So 9 is 3 squared. Now that it's written like this, we can easily look at this and see that the center of the circle, the h value is 3, the k value is -4, not +4. So if you look at the original, it's like we're doing the opposite of these original ones. The original one up here has a +3, so h is negative. The original one up here has a -3, so h is a +3. The original one has a +4, so k is -4, and then r is 3. So we're going to graph the circle with the center of 3, -4. And then we have a radius of 3. So the first thing you're going to do when you graph this is you're going to graph 3, -4 first. Graph this point first. Then, since the radius is 3, from this point you're going to count 1, 2, 3 and put a dot here. Then you're going to come back to the center and count 1, 2, 3, put a dot up here. Back to the center, count 1, 2, 3, put a dot here, and then count down 3, 1, 2, 3, put a dot here. Then you can connect all the dots to draw your circle. Okay, so let's try that one more time. What would the center of this circle be? Well, the center is going to be opposite of the -3 and opposite of the 2. So the center is going to be +3, -2. All right, but let's rewrite this equation so it has a negative here, so you can see that it's going to be a -2. Okay, so if we rewrite this equation, we can change this positive to minus a negative. Okay, and 4 is 2 squared. So that means that our h is 3 and our k is -2 and the radius is 2. So we're going to graph the circle. We're going to put the center of the circle on first at 3, -2. Then we're going to graph a radius of 2 coming out from the circle. So come to 3, -2. Then you're going to count 2 up, 2 over, 2 down, and 2 to the left, and then connect all those points to draw your circle. Great! And that is the end of this lesson.